Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How you feeling?
Wonderful, wonderful.
Love that smile. Who do we have the pleasure of speaking with?
Antonio,
Antonio. Where you from, Antonio?
Baltimore, Maryland, born and raised.
Tell me about Baltimore, Maryland.
I love it. I mean, some people say it's a bad city, but it's really not. As long as you mind your business and stay out of other people's shit, then you ain't got to worry about, you know what I'm saying? But all in all, you can't, I love my city. I don't care what nobody say about Baltimore. I was born and raised here. I just came back to Baltimore maybe like 3 months ago. I was living in York, Pennsylvania, which I love York, Pennsylvania. The reason why I came back because my mom had a stroke and I came back to take care of her. And she had a stroke maybe like a year later. She just passed away December the 30th of last year. So it's like a little struggle for me, you know what I mean, not having my mom. I kind of prepared myself for it, you know, but I mean, you can't stop it. When it's time for her to go home, she gonna go home. But as far as Baltimore, I love this city, man. I love it. The one thing that I don't like is the police, because they be on some old weird shit, you know what I'm saying? They fucking with people that don't need to be messed with. The ones they should fuck with, they don't. But wait, what can I say?
What do you mean by that?
What can I say?
No, as far as what do you mean by the police messes with you?
Like, they were just fucking with me, and I'm waiting for the bus. You know, I'm sitting on the bus stop, minding my business, smoking a cigarette. So he come over there telling me, "Oh man, you've been sitting on this bus stop longer than an hour." I said, "No, I haven't, sir. I just came back to the bus stop. I went and got me something to eat, and I came back." So I said, "Well, why'd you bothering me?" You know, when all these other people was out here doing other shit, but you rather fuck with somebody that's not doing nothing. I said, "Okay, but I respect you." Said what I had to say, and then I walked off.
Where we at right now?
It's not as bad as people make Baltimore out to be. It really ain't.
Where exactly are we at right now?
We are on Pennsylvania and North Avenue, which I call the slums.
What brought you to this area, if it's called the slums?
That's where I hang at. This where I grew up at. I don't live here because I don't shit where I eat, if you understand what I mean by that. Without incriminating myself. You feel me?
Now, what does that mean? Yo, everybody ain't as hip. Yeah, what does that mean?
I don't do dirt where I lay my head at. You know what I'm saying? I come down here, do my little hustle or whatever, and then when I'm ready to go, I'm out. I live in what they call Jewtown. Ain't nothing but Jewish people in that area. It's on the other side of Northern Parkway.
How far is that from here?
Oh, I say about a good 4 miles. 4 to 6 miles from here. Made sure I was a little distance away.
I feel that. And your name is Antonio, right?
Yeah.
How old are you, Antonio?
54.
54. How old do you feel?
34.
Is that mentally or physically?
Both. Mentally and physically.
Why is that?
Because my physical body, I don't feel like I'm 54. I still can run, not as fast as I used to, but you know what I mean? My teeth is good. My body is, I got my shape. I really picked up some weight because I normally would be 145. I just came from my doctor's appointment last week. They told me I was 180. So I said, oh no, man. But most of that weight is in my gut. That comes from that good eating.
Do you have any kids?
Yes, I have a 23-year-old daughter who I am so proud of. She graduated from Poly. She just graduated from college also because she went for, she wanted to be a mental health therapist. And I told her that's a good thing to get in. I call her Sugar. I said, that's a good thing to get in, Sugar, because you know your daddy is mental retarded. And I ain't ashamed to say it.
Is that your only child?
Retarded. Yep. Well, I got 2 other girls saying their baby is mine. And it's kind of complicated because the last girl, right, I was living in York. She was down here homeless. I came down here, picked her up, took her to York. She stayed up there for like a week and then she left. But the way she did it was, at that time she had the little baby, I can't think of the little baby name, but She left at 5 o'clock in the morning because in order to get to Baltimore on the Rabbit bus, that's what time the bus leaves. So she ain't wake me up to say she was leaving. I could have walked her down there or anything. She just packed a little bit of clothes up and left. And then I ain't hear from her, right? A year later, I get a hit on Messenger from her. Oh, can you call me? I need to tell you something. All right, bet. I call her. Hey, what's up? She's like, oh, I'm just informing you that you have a 1-year-old daughter. So I said, well, why you wait for a whole year to tell me that you had this little baby? And you want me to just jump and say, okay, that's my baby girl? No, you know what I mean? So I said, well, all right, can we do the blood test and all? Oh, I ain't going through all that. You know, I was just fucking with you and nobody. So I said, all right, bet matter of fact, we ain't got to do that. Just bring her to my mother's house. You feel me? So like 2 weeks later, she hit me. You at your mother's house? I said, yeah, you know, I'm her home care provider. So I stay here with her. So she was like, all right, I'm great. Bring her over. And her name is shit. I forgot the baby name. That ain't matter. But so when my mother seen it, right? My mother, because it was that time when the pandemic was really bad. So she took her mask off. As soon as my mother seen her full face, she started busting out in tears. So I said, Mom, what you crying for? She said, Antonio, look at that little girl. You cannot say that little girl's not yours. She looked just like you. So I say I got one and the other one is like suspect.
What made you move to York?
I was down here doing real bad. I was homeless, not by force, but by choice. Because I was running the streets and doing what I was doing in the streets, I didn't want to bring that to my mother's house. Because that's where I was staying at the time with my mom over West Baltimore, Franklintown Road, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm out here doing dirt and I don't want, I mean, when I say doing dirt, I ain't out here robbing nobody, you know what I'm saying? I'm selling drugs, you know what I mean? And I know niggas get jealous or want to test you and send people to your house, things of that nature. So I've never brought nothing to my mom's house. So I chose to stay in abandoned houses, you know, stay in an abandoned house while I'm hustling. And then I was on drugs real bad. I was sniffing, I had an opiate habit real bad. So I knew I couldn't get well down here, you know what I'm saying? I knew I couldn't kick the habit down here. So we was in the program, me and my homeboy, his name B, we was in the program, so he was like, yo, he met this girl from York, Pennsylvania, this, that, and the third, and he was like, I'm gonna go up there and see her and chill with her for the weekend. I said, all right, bet. So he was like, well, if I get up there, my nigga, and I like it, I'm staying. I said, oh, that's, you know what I'm saying? All praise, bro. I'm happy for you. So he moved up there, and like after a month he moved up there, he was like, yo, come up and check it out. So for like 2 months, I was going from here to York, because it's only $5 on a Rabbit Express. And you catch that at Hunt Valley, you know what I mean? But it's certain times it comes. But anyway, I went up there on the weekends, and I'm like, damn, yo, it was kind of crazy because it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, it's Saturday, and you don't see a car or like nobody hanging on the corners or nobody walking around, you know what I'm saying? So that shit was kind of strange to me. So I'm taking pictures and shit like, then I posted on Facebook like, yo, I'm up in York, Pennsylvania, 4 o'clock in the afternoon on a Saturday and ain't nobody outside, you know what I'm saying? But after that, kept coming up there, so he was like, look, yo, fuck it. Instead of you just keep commuting back and forth, why don't you just move up here? So I said, yo, you can't just tell me to move up here. That's not your house, my nigga. Okay, you messing with the young lady, but still, this her shit. I said, if she says it's okay for me to come up here and stay with y'all, then bet, I do it. So he called in the room like, babe. And they called me hippie in York because I smoked so much. You know what I mean? So they was like, he was like, yo, Anthonio wanna move up here with us. So she said, I'm cool with that, if you cool with it. So he said, oh yeah, I'm cool with it. So that following week, that Monday I went back, I packed all my stuff up, you know what I mean? I went around and told everybody, look, I'm leaving Baltimore, I'm going to York, Pennsylvania. I went and said my goodbyes to all the people that meant something to me, you know what I mean? So when I get up there, I'm like, oh shit, it's sweet. But the first 3 years I was in York, because I stayed up there for 11, right? But the first 3 years that I was in York, I took me with me. And what I mean by that is the same mentality that I had in Baltimore, I took to York. You know what I mean? The selling drugs, the rough dank shit, you know what I mean? So I'ma say the selling drugs and everything came with it. I took to York. And I was doing the little okay for a minute, but then niggas got a whiff that Baltimore niggas up here trying to stomp their toes. They start sending like sticker boys at us, they on the police on us, you know what I mean? They doing all that shit. But out of that, I got, what, 3 felony drug charges. They put me in drug court. I'm in drug court, but I failed drug court. All my charges is 15 years apiece. And from what I hear, when like outsiders come up there and they catch them, they hit their head. But for some reason, God was on my side. Cause I should be in jail right now, honestly. You know what I mean? But instead of them giving me the 45 years, he gave me 5 years of probation. You know, because when they ran my background, they didn't know about me coming from Baltimore. So they ran the background for York, Pennsylvania. So when it came up, they was the only 3 charges I had. You know what I'm saying? So the judge was lenient, gave me 5 years probation. January the 1st, I'm off of probation. And when I first met my probation officer, I told him, I said, man, honestly, bro, I don't normally do probation. I said, every time they give me probation, they had to catch me. You know what I'm saying? So he said, well, what makes it different this time? I said, I'm older and I ain't trying to do a whole lot of running and ducking. I ain't gonna be able to get no job or, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to live in the streets again, which I'm not trying to do. So I'm almost done that probation. When I'm done that probation, it's like, okay. But I'm trying to get my GED so I can become an electrician. Once I get my GED, which I'm in GED classes now, once I get that, then I'm gonna go to this electrical program called IBEW. You know what I'm saying? Then after I connect with them, I'm gonna get in the union, and within 10 years, I'm trying to have my GED, my certified electrical license. Matter of fact, I'm shooting to become a master electrician. You know what I mean? So in 10 years, I want to have all that. I want to have my house and my car, married if possible, you know. But if not, hey, I'm with that. But I do want to have a spouse, you know, somebody that I can share my wealth with and hopes and dreams, and we build from there, you know. I have a young lady in mind now, but she live in Philly, and there's some things in Philly that she needs to deal with, you know what I mean?
Philly is a rough city.
Yes, it is.
How did you first get introduced to doing drugs?
On my 25th birthday, I was selling crack. We had a little stash house, so I went up there and I seen the workers doing it. So, what's that? He was like, oh, I'm not food, you don't want none of this, yada yada yada. So I said, man, just give me a little juice. You know what I mean? Bored on my birthday, curiosity. And I wish I'd have never took that first one. Because like they say, 1 is too many and 1,000 is never enough. So I've been chasing that dream, that drug, opiates, for 20 years.
Do you still do drugs now?
Oh, no. I get the Vivitrol shot. And to anybody out there that's doing opiates and want to get off, go to a program. But the best way to do it, to maintain, is to get that Vivitrol shot. Not the Suboxone, not the, to me, that's just another way of getting high. You know what I'm saying? To me, that's just a substitute, you know?
What's the difference between all that you just mentioned and what you're actually taking?
Well, the difference is, for one, when I stop, I don't have like pain, and I don't go through withdrawals. With because I tried the mat, they put me on 30 milligrams, but they had me out here to where I was incapacitated. So I said, nah, that's not something I want to continue to do. Went and tried the boot. You know, I don't like the taste of the boot, and it still made me feel like I was high. You know what I mean? It wasn't until I went to the program in York, Pennsylvania called White Deer Run is when I got introduced to the Vivitrol shot. The doctor said, would you like to take the Vivitrol shot before you leave? So I had him explain it a little more to me. But my main concern was, if I stop taking it, am I gonna go through the withdrawals that I go through when I stop taking opiates? And he said there will be no withdrawals at all. Sure, that's what I want. Plug me in, and that's what I've been taking.
So how long have you been taking the Vivitrol shot?
2 years.
2 years. When do
Yep.
you see yourself getting off it totally?
I'ma say the middle of next year. I'm gonna stop it completely.
When's the last time you took street level drugs?
3 years ago. I mean, I smoke marijuana. Don't get me wrong. I still smoke my marijuana, but I don't do the opiates. I tried to do crack, and that shit tightened up all the muscles in my body, so I said, no, that's not for me. I tried to drink, and that shit gave me pancreatitis, so I said, no, that's not for me. So now it's just the cigarettes. Now it's just cigarettes I'm trying to quit. Everything else is done. I'm over with.
So you don't do marijuana?
Yeah, I still smoke marijuana.
You do marijuana?
Yeah.
So do you see yourself forever smoking marijuana?
Yeah, honestly.
Have you ever heard of fentanyl?
Yeah. That's what they got out here now.
Have you ever heard of it possibly being in weed?
And yeah, they spraying it. Yeah, people say that. They spray it with fentanyl water.
Are you concerned about that?
Yes, I am. Almost definitely. So that's why I don't really. I deal with just one dude. You know what I mean? And if he don't have it, it ain't like, oh shit, I really need it, I'm gonna go somewhere else. No, I sit and wait for him, because I know, like them young kids, I know they spraying that shit with that fentanyl water. You know what I mean? Not knowing what they doing with it, y'all giving people drug habits, and all they trying to do is get high off marijuana. You know what I mean? But so if my connect ain't got it, then I ain't got it.
In the time that you started doing, I guess, hardcore street drugs, up until now, what's the longest time you've been drug free? I guess excluding marijuana, because you always smoke that, right?
3.5 years.
3.5 years?
Yeah.
What inspired that?
The Vivitrol shot.
Oh, really? The Vivitrol, really?
Yeah, that's what kept me clean.
Do you think you could have just quit cold turkey off opioids?
I tried it 3 times, right? And the crazy shit is, I would go through the withdrawals, you know. It would take me 3 days to get over it, right? But then that 4th day, I come outside or whatever, and I know it's the devil, because it's like the whole time I was going through withdrawal, I couldn't get no help from nobody. But as soon as I get, you know what I'm saying, like my feet under me and start getting stable, my stability, my mouth dry. Somebody will come up, oh, nephew, or you know, I can get something that I look out for you. Instead of me saying, nah, bro, I bet, because my stomach a little messed up, and still a little, so I'm trying to like get that stomach pain away, you know, so I would convert right back to it. And then at that time, I didn't have a sponsor. I wasn't going to NA groups, you know what I mean? I wasn't doing the work and the work guide. I wasn't doing nothing that I was supposed to be doing to maintain my recovery, but going to a meeting.
Do you have all that now?
Yes, I have a sponsor. I have a network of sponsoring brothers that I can call at any time I need. I go to, my home group is right there on Pennsylvania and Cumberland. I call my sponsor daily, you know, but honestly, I really didn't want to sponsor, because it's like, I gotta tell somebody my dog is deepest secrets, you know what I mean? And kind of wonder, like, once I tell him this, they ain't supposed to, but I know people. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes their tongue get a little loose, and they run and tell, oh yeah, Anthonio, yada, yada, yada. You know what I mean? So that's what kept me from getting a sponsor for a very long time. But now that I got one, and this guy, I've been watching him for like the last 1.5 years. You know what I mean? Not only do he talk the talk, he walk it also, you know? And with the Vivitrol shot, my sponsor groups in the NA meeting, I'm great.
What do you think your purpose in life is?
My purpose in life, I would say, because it seems like, I don't know, people just come up to me and start telling me like their little personal problems or what they're going through, right? So I believe I'm here to like help people, you know, but before I can help somebody, I gotta help myself, you know, so that's where I'm at now, on a path of bettering myself.
Here in Baltimore right now, what do you think is a bigger problem, substance abuse or homelessness?
I would say substance abuse, because the substance abuse leads to the homelessness with some people. You know, that like with me, I was homeless because I choose to be, not because my mom or my family didn't want me around. You know what I'm saying? It was I didn't want to be around them high like that. You know, and then I wasn't the only one doing it. My sister was doing it also. So it was like, and my mom, God rest her soul, um, I say now, I wish I'd have listened to her growing up. Like, because she would say, Antonio, don't hang with this group of kids, or don't be with that group of kids, or don't do that. But it seemed like every time she told me not to do something, that's when I went and did it, you know. And I wish she was here now to see me, to see that, because I'm the middle child. I have a younger brother and an older sister. You know, my little brother never did any type of drugs. The only thing he do was smoke, drink alcohol. But as far as like the hard drugs, he never did that. And me and my sister, we was doing it, and my mom never turned her back on it. You know, my dad wasn't in the picture. He had caught a murder charge, so he did like 27 years. And by the time he came home, I was a grown man, you know, 32 years old. Just had my little baby girl, but Baltimore is not a bad city to live in. It really not.
What do you think could help the substance issue in Baltimore right now? Or I guess help eradicate it?
Um, what can help it? Honestly, I really don't know, because it's like the shit is cheap now and it's everywhere. You know what I'm saying? When I was getting high, a little small bag was $10. Now my understanding is it's only $3. So I said, and that's what makes me really not want it now, because if it's $3, then you know that shit is something crazy. And from what I've been hearing, it's like, because my niece is a drug addiction counselor, right? She said she pissed one little girl. The little girl said she never dealt with cocaine or opiates, right? Said all she did was smoke weed. My niece said when she got the test back, the weed was in her system, but it was also like, I can't think of the name of it, but what the name she said, it was fentanyl, like benzos, you know what I'm saying? So they cutting that shit up with the fentanyl and the benzos. And it's basically fentanyl, really. You know what I mean? That's why the people dying out here, but it's just.
Did you first start smoking weed at 25 as well?
No, I started smoking marijuana at the age. Marijuana and cigarettes came at 15.
Going back to your 15-year-old self, since nobody knows Antonio like Antonio knows Antonio,
right?
What would you have told yourself to make you never do drugs a day in your life?
I'd have told myself, I'd have said, Antonio, once you get on this road, it's gonna be a hard road to get off of. It's gonna be a long time before you get off of it, if you get off of it, you know what I'm saying? Because honestly, I'm not supposed to be here right now. I OD'd 7 times. And I had friends that OD'd once and it took them away, you know what I mean? So I say to myself, like, God got you here for a reason. Because you died 7 times and he brought you back each time. Here it is, people died once and never came back. So you're here for a reason. Find out what your reason is and do it. And like I said, I honestly believe that my reason now here is to tell my story, you know, let people know that Baltimore ain't bad, but it ain't a good city either. Baltimore is all about what you make, you know, and from the age, I'ma say 18 up until 43, I was running these streets. I was everywhere, you know what I mean? But now I'm 54 and I just look at like back then to now, and it's crazy, man, because I done seen police on the corner, right? Motherfuckers selling their drugs, their marijuana, they whatever. I done seen them walk up a stem in front of them. I done seen them sniff their dope in front of them. I done seen them roll blunts in front of them. You know what I mean? So it's like, I guess they like, fuck it. If they ain't out there killing each other, go ahead and let them kill each other slowly. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know, man. I come outside just to watch people, just to see, you know what I mean?
If you could
But
say something to someone right now to motivate them to be the best them they could be, what would you tell them?
I say, look, I done been down that road that you're taking, and take it from me. It ain't a pretty sight. You know, you're not gonna get nothing out of that road that you're taking but death and heartache and pain. If you wanna stop going through what you're going through, then the best thing to do is to go to a program, right? Change your mindset. They say change people, places, and things. That's all fine and dandy. I did that, but me changing people, places, and things. And what I mean by that, I moved from Baltimore to York, Pennsylvania. But like I told you in the beginning, I took myself, the street Anthonio, to York. You know what I mean? So I would tell them, look, get a guardian understanding, right? Go to church. Get you a home group, get you a network, get you a sponsor, and really utilize those things, because that is the only way that you're really going to get off opiates.
And with that being said, we want to thank you for your time.
Mm-hmm.
We want to thank you for your honesty.
Right?
And most importantly, we want to thank you for your story.
No problem, bro.
Thank you again.
Yep.